Lion?
Girl, I mean boy. Leave me alone.
Till I be like yeah, till I be like no, till I be like oh, till I be like yeah, till I be like no.
Ready?
All right, start.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel.
Dre
Bre, and you're watching Wait.
What's our topic for today?
Well, why you always ask me?
Because you're holding the iPad.
You just looked at it. You
4
said
tips for dealing with friends of the opposite sex while in a relationship.
there we go.
Number 1, it's simple. It's easy. You probably already guessed it. You must trust your partner.
That's a T. T for trust.
That's the biggest thing for dealing with friends of the opposite sex in a relationship. You gotta trust them.
Yeah.
It's like at the end of the day, you can't be there every single time. You can't monitor every single text message. You can't listen in on every single phone call. At a certain point, you just have to trust your partner. And we understand that trust is also one of the foundational pieces of a relationship. But I think also with trusting your partner, you also have to show that you are trustworthy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like
Yeah.
you have to, your behavior has to like show that like you're worth trusting. You can't be doing like some sketchy stuff or like doing weird things.
And then be like, he's just my friend.
Yeah, it's like no, I don't do that with my friends. Like
Yeah.
that's a little weird.
Yeah. What would I say? Well, sorry guys. So I look at it like this, right? The world is filled with people, men and women. Just because you're in a relationship, you should not have to cancel out the whole half of the world who happens to be of the opposite sex of you. We are friends with males and females because that's how friendships work when you're an adult. There's clear things that can tell you whether or not someone is someone's friend. Like if Dre has a female friend, which he does, he has a lot of them. I've met all of them. We've hung out in person, all 3 of us, and solo. So it's a thing of you are supposed to have friends before you met me, right? And so just because we're in a relationship, we shouldn't have to end those friendships because there are other girls. Now, if there's a friendship that I don't feel comfortable with, that something has happened or, like I just don't feel like I trust it, not because I don't trust him, but if I don't trust her, there's the 2 things that come into play. It's, well, 1, I have to trust him because if he says that this is his friend, I know that if something were to happen that wasn't friend-like, that he would end it. It's not my job to say you can't be friends with such and such. Yeah. So I feel like when you trust somebody, it comes with knowing that they're gonna have friends of the opposite sex, but it's about figuring out what those clear boundaries and lines are so that you know that the relationships are legit.
I like it.
You were gonna say something.
No, I was saying Bree's kind of bouncing around to all the different topics, just a little bit sprinkled here and there.
Man.
But the next one, leading into what she just said, is that you must trust your partner's judgment. Like your partner is of the opposite sex. So sometimes they can pick up on things to where you think, oh, that's harmless. Or like, no, that's just my friend. It's like, nah, they can sometimes see like, yeah, this person is trying to do X, Y, Z. This person is plotting. So if your partner is like, there's something that I don't feel right about this, or the way, like, I don't want you to go there, or I want to go with you, like, trust your partner's judgment when it comes to those things.
Yeah, for sure.
Because a lot of times they can sense something that you may not be able to sense, or you think is harmless, or stuff like that.
And then that brings us to point 3, which is including your partner in your friendship. So I feel like the best way to, if you really have a friend of the opposite sex and you want your partner to be okay with it or welcoming of it, like they should be their friend too. So, we're
perfect. We're a perfect example of this. Like we have like my friend first. I have a friend Mel and her friend Mimi, and I work with Mel. We all went out a couple times, work functions, stuff like that. Told them, oh, you gotta meet Bre. Like introduced them to my fiance. At that point, Bree hung out with them more than I even did. Like,
Yeah,
they
they're my
became
friends.
closer friends. And it's like, I have friends, whether it's Rhonda, like Remy, like, Bree has been on individual hangouts, going out, like, date nights with my female friends or women friends when I haven't been around. So it's like, there's not, I think it's inappropriate to have, and I've seen this in some relationships, it'd be like, to where you've been with somebody for a year or two and there's a friend or your best friend that they never met, and it's like, why haven't you met? If this person is your friend, like, why hasn't they met your significant other? Either you're hiding them from the world, or, you know.
Yeah, no, that's really sketch. If you have a friend and not meet her, she ain't your friend. No. Sorry.
And I have some friends that, like, there's always an effort, even though there's some friends who live other places or stuff like that. It took a while for Bree to meet Michaela, but I will always constantly be like, yo, I want you to meet her. This is one of my friends, like, you know. And then I'll, like, have her on speakerphone when I'm just talking out in the open. Like, she doesn't know Bree's there or not. And she's like, oh, you know, you guys are so cute. Like, I can't wait to, you know, come to the wedding and stuff. So it's like, there's nothing that Bree has to worry about or even think about, because it's like, okay, like, these are his friends. And there's been an effort put forth to try to, like, meet these people or hang out with these people. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But
yeah, and then it's like, now that we know it's okay to have friends of opposite sex, it's like, well, there has to be some boundaries. Because if he was texting and calling one of those friends, I mean, even if it was a guy at that point, it's a little like, meh. If you're talking to that person every day, all day, about the things that you should be communicating, you know, to your partners, like, that's also not okay. It's like, it's okay to have friends, but it's not okay to replace me with someone else, or to give someone else the same attention or energy or effort that you give me, because at that point you have two girlfriends.
yeah, this is my best friend. The only thing I share with a friend that I don't share with her is something I'm probably trying to do for her.
Or sports, because I don't like them.
So lastly, new friends should be our friends.
Yes.
New friends should. So again, we have an example of this. We met one of our close friends, Antonio, together while we were in a relationship. Now, Antonio is a really cool dude. One of our favorite people, but like,
follow on Instagram at Antonio Buchanan _.
Yes. But Antonio, it's been plenty of times to where me and him hang out. Well, me and him hang out a lot. There's been times where we all hang out together, but it's been plenty of times where Bree has gone and hung out with him in a group, just them two. Plenty of times, because once we're in a relationship, he's kind of our friend. It's not like, oh, this is my friend or this is your friend. It's like, especially if they're of the opposite sex, it's like, there's no way you're going to hang out and be with somebody if I don't even know who they are.
Yeah. And then, I mean, just think about the dynamic of that. That's really weird. Like, for example, so where's the place you go a lot?
In DC, Law Society.
You go somewhere and there's a girl that's a bartender somewhere.
Oh yeah, at Brooklyn.
Okay, so Dre will talk about, like, I don't know this girl, right? When he mentions her, he's like, oh, like, I went to blah, blah, X, Y, and Z, hooked us up with drinks. I'm like, okay, cool. And as time goes on, it's like, he brought it up again. And then, like, the third time he brought it up, he said, what's her name? Susa? Oh, that's cute. He was like, Susa asked if you wanted to, like, get together, me, you, her, and her boyfriend, go grab drinks together. And I was like, I really have enough time for my friends that I actually, you know, love and care about and know I don't really want to do that. But the fact that the offer was open is like, that's okay, because it's somebody that's new that I never knew of, and it's to the point where he's basically letting me know, like, if you want to meet this girl or mutually hang out, like, let's do that. So it's things like that like, yeah. If your person meets someone of the opposite sex that's brand new, not someone they knew before the relationship, that's brand new, it should be a thing of we mutually hang out, we mutually get to know each other. Because if you're a female getting to know my fiance and I don't know nothing of you, never heard of you or seen you, talk to you, you don't know of me, that's a lot of wiggle room for some BS to happen. And that's just unhealthy. You don't want that in your relationship and in your space. So be smart and strategic with, if you do meet someone of the opposite sex to make sure you introduce them to your person. That's like if I'm out somewhere and I have a conversation with a guy, the conversation is usually about him, because it's like, before this moves any further, you need to know.
Can't miss that.
You need to know that I'm happily taken. And so it's like, it's a package deal. So if you're cool with me having, blah, 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 and like you want to befriend the both of us, we can be friends, but otherwise, like, I can't help you.
Yeah, I think it's important to know like the difference between a friend and like just somebody you meet out. Like sometimes you meet people out. Like I said, the young lady I met that is a bartender at Brooklyn restaurant in DC, like she was cool. We had a conversation talking about school, obviously talking about like Bre and my upcoming marriage. But then as I went there a few times, like I talked to her a little bit more, but then I just found out we have mutual friends. We know people who went to high school together. So once it got to a point that it was like, oh, I'm actually like knowing this person, it seemed like a cool person. Then the invitation was like, all right, this is somebody that, is a cool person that I've honestly started to talk to. That I was like, all right, it's time to introduce, like, all right, Bre. And she even asked me, she was like, oh, you should come out now that I know we have mutual friends. I would love to actually meet this person you're talking so much about. And it's the same with her. Like, she'll meet guys out and we'll end up meeting them, and then they'll be like, yeah, she talks so much about you, I heard so much about you. So it's like, it's not a thing.
The same way you would have a conversation if she was a guy or if the guy was a girl. It's like, you don't have to act differently to someone just because they're the opposite sex. Like, they're still people. Yeah,
it's like I wouldn't dare do that, because we meet a lot of great people that way, and a lot of good friends on the opposite side too. That maybe there's a woman that I meet that could end up being cool with Bre and benefit something that she has going on, and vice versa. So.
Yes, sir. So that's our take on friends of the opposite sex. Let us know what your thoughts are. Let us know how you maneuver in your relationship and your friends of the opposite sex. Make sure you follow us at Worth the Wait. That was not supposed to be the first one I said. It's Dre Smith.
And at Brianna Conte.
And Worth the Wait. And Antonio. Follow my man, Antonio. Love y'all.
Peace.